big. On by 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 big.
Young country boy, straight from the fucking hood. CME be my hood, all business be my city. GA be my state. Dirty South in your face, dirty South on the way. Dirty South country patient, fucking with a real nigga. Eyes speak before the face, and I got skill. Digit make a whole face. I just trying to make a living, kicking sensei. Face card good in the hood, yeah. Some say the same. Then feel here, ready loud, whip it clear. Modern day Shakespeare, speak that literature on the grind, faithful, way past RSC, look past our leg, gotta get that off of me. Jostle society, soldier, IBBLN, four corners, light and dark green, UNIT, soldier, vice G, soldier society, knowledge so deep.
On by big, 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 on by big.
On my business, she about business, she about business, on the grind getting it. We about business, we about business, we about business. They be on that bullshit, straight out that snake pit. Venom inside of me, hell inside of me, all a part of BNG. Gotta keep it real with my soul, don't fallacy. Gotta keep it still, I told like majesty, bright, fluorescent colors, feeling royalty. I at night rejoice, brother and loyalty. Honestly, rider, we gonna be robbery, utterly, wisely, pray to Almighty. Scope it out, repeat, OMSB, live on a line at the end, G-O-D to the light I see. Homie, gotta have faith, Franklin, Ben J, with it do I say.
On by big, 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 on by big.
I know I had the shit on that motherfucker. Hey, they be like hell now, looking hard, and that ghost feeling paranoid, like on Master P. Yeah, they know I got a shit on beat. You either industry or in these streets. You either pushing P or popping P. You gotta pay the cost to be the boss. So tell them, gone with your broke ass. And it's a time to spend and a time to stack. And it's a loss how you got it back. I ran that motherfucker to the city. Graduated from that water window. Sold money, fold pockets on chopper swole. More tight, near cold. Watch the fan ball roll. Started with a drill bowl, laid or then stove. Watch her turn my pill gold, white like mayo. Thumbing through the check, better check before it hammer time. Check engine light came on, bet we still ride. Car break down on E, bet we still slide. Me and my brothers ain't gon' miss a meal, 100 more be lying. All in, burn in, still I eat back then. Learn to hustle like I'm broke, got the game bad then. In on jet, it's a jet, looking up the bishop boy. That's a shame, that's a bitch flicking up like Richard boy. It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do the same. And I can care less, I don't give a fuck, I let my nuts hang. And this shit stain dirty drawers. How you feel, nigga? Fuck y'all. If it's up, then it's up, nigga. Ain't no need to write it in the sand. I don't Lord, I wish you luck, bro. And why go Taliban? I put it
Is there anyone
all
else
on the
who's speaking on that
front.
subject today? You are? Okay, I'll wait. Thank you.
Oh, good? Yeah. Bishop. RJ Miller, Ward 1, District 34. So where's the mayor at? The mayor? Oh, okay, good. He can hear me because I'm reporting from my district and I had some complaints. So while campaigning, I spoke to some young ladies of color and they were discouraged with the political process in the city because of how the mayor treated Ms. Shoemaker. They showed me a video of the council meeting and I was appalled and disgusted by the behavior of the mayor. As the leader of our city, you should support her as she has good ideas that she can be beneficial to the council. I think you owe her an apology. Also, if you continue treating people like this, there will be consequences on the ballot. Other constituents have reported their voices are not being heard, and they have complaints about gentrification, police misconduct, the lack of cooperation of other city officials with other organizations. The city is also not returning emails, and they are transferring emails that is directly sent to the city to other individuals who they did not authorize to get those emails. Universally, since I've been going through these different wards, people are saying, you guys are not listening. We elect you guys to represent us. You guys are working against us. So I think you guys need to start listening. You guys have ears, please listen. Feel me? Feel me? Oh, and which one of you guys took this lady's email and sent it to the person who she complained to you guys about? You want to speak to that? Y'all looking at me? Speak on that.
All right. Is that all?
Speak on that?
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
All right.
You want to speak on that, Josh?
No, thank you very much. We'll go to our next.
So chill, right? I'm sitting out here talking to self while self was hollering at God. And God was letting self know, like, yeah, it is a crazy coincidence. Like, everybody come to God with their problems, for help, or blessings, or what have you. But who God go to when God need the vent? When God need to let some off his shoulders or get some off his chest. The Lord's consiglia. Yeah, peace and love, peace and love. Y'all tune in to another episode of the Lord Consiglia with your host, Lord Infinite, aka Test by Celeste, BKA Mr. Gigante, SKA, a player named Hundun, man. Y'all know how we do it on the Lord Consigliere show. Like, want to definitely keep y'all up to date with information, want to get y'all up to date on the business, want to get y'all up to date on the move. That being said, tonight on Wisdom Wednesday, we got a special guest with y'all. Y'all just seen from the beginning of that clip. You know what I'm saying? Our beloved brother RJ Miller, you know what I'm saying? RJ Miller for Iowa House, and our brother right there, pretty much eloquent. That's a short brother right there. Like y'all just seen, like, bro, on the platform, taking it all the way to the politic realm. Like, I ain't gonna even talk y'all head out like that, but I want to bring our brother in right now with us. Yeah, peace and love, brother. How you doing?
Peace and love, brother. I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Man, I can't complain, man. Another blessed day in paradise, man. Come on in, introduce yourself to the people that don't know you, your background, or what have you. Like, let the people know where you come from.
Peace and love, everybody. My name is RJ Miller. I'm initially from Minneapolis, Minnesota. You know, I used to get in a lot of trouble as a youth. Got into a lot of fights, and you know, we was in the streets. We gang banged and all that. You know, I've been incarcerated. You know, at the age of 15, they ended up certifying me as an adult when I was 17, and I went to prison. You know, during my duration of my incarceration, I spent a lot of time with elders. I read a lot of books about, you know, Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and things of that nature. You know, I changed my mindset. You know, prior to that, when I was in the streets, I looked at certain individuals like they was my opposition. But by studying Malcolm X and all these other Black influential leaders, I learned that My opposition is the system. My opposition is white supremacy or these powers that be that want to create the conditions in our neighborhood to suppress us so we don't have resources, so we don't have food, clothing, and shelter and things like that. And we don't know who to direct this anger towards, so we direct it towards one another. So, upon me, being released, I was blessed at the age of 19 to be, in rotation with some very good brothers in Chicago that endowed me with a lot of knowledge. I was in rotation with brother Bobby Gore, rest in peace, the Honorable Bobby Gore, and other great ones who taught me the legacy of this thing, man, who really, put it in me that we got to get out here and we got to uplift our community. Bobby told me, it's about family, it's about uplifting the black man, the black woman, and the black child, man, and taking care of our children and being men in society, bro.
Indeed. So for you, like, I know a lot of time, like in our life, we kind of got to bump our head to get to that point where we really want to change or whatnot. Like, I know you said you went to prison, you did your own time, you did your debt, paid your debt to society and whatnot, but where was it along that road that like, I see you going hard in the politics, like, was it like over a gradual time, or was it just like what was the determining factor that, man, I'm finna go all the way in on their wave right here? Okay, that's a different realm. Like a lot of people don't really want to like deal with it because it's a lot of work that go behind the scenes.
Okay, I say this. So, when I after, talking to Bobby and certain other individuals, they in Chicago. So, I'm in my area. So, in my area, I ain't really have too many people to really look up to that was on there and really constructive. So, I had to take the knowledge that I had, at the time and do the best that I could. To me, it was really, I always wanted to do something positive. I just didn't know the resources or how the right avenues to do certain stuff. You know what I mean? So eventually at a certain age, I had to, after seeing all my friends dying, going to the penitentiary, I had to separate from my environment because my environment was very toxic. I know a lot of individuals, that's frowned upon to certain individuals, but like T.I. say, some move away to make a way, not move away because they're afraid. When I ended up moving to Iowa, I was able to, step outside of my comfort zone, and I was able to go to college and get involved in different things that I normally wouldn't get involved to. I started engaging in politics, and in my state of Iowa, felons are able to vote and take public office as long as they're off papers. So I took advantage of that. What made me want to really do this type of stuff is because I sit back and I look at every misguided child, that was like me, you know what I mean, had potential, but was guided down the wrong direction. You know what I mean? I don't want to see no young brothers and sisters waste their time, catch a felony to where it's hard for them to get housing, for where it's hard for them to get a good, decent paying job, to where they got to struggle in somebody's sweatshop, working fast food. They deserve way more opportunity than that. You know what I mean? So that's what really sparked me, is to really get back to the youth. You know what I mean? People talk about, serving their debt or paying their debt to society. But to me, it ain't just about, paying it, in the penitentiary. To me, it's about paying that in the community. You know what I mean? Stopping another brother and sister from going down that same path that you went on. You know what I mean? And a lot of our people, they're not educated when it comes to the politics in our community. A lot of people don't participate in the politics that go on in our community. A lot of people are always talking about the president, and we need to vote when it comes to federal, but they neglect the local seats. The local seats is the ones that directly affect us. Our school boards, which affects our children that are going to school. Our city council, which directly affects us in our city. These are the things that we need to be attentive on, because when we're not being attentive to these different things, these individuals are making decisions for us without our consent, because we don't go and we don't get involved. We have a lot of parents that complain and say, oh, I don't like how the school is doing this. I don't like how they're doing that. But they're not involved in PTAs, parent teachers associations. They're not going to the school board meetings. Same thing when it comes to state, when it comes to these laws and policies that are being made. These people are behind the scenes having backdoor meetings and making decisions for us in our community. And half of them don't even live in our community. But we're not going to these meetings. We're not going hundreds deep, you know what I mean, to the state and letting it be known this is not how we draw. We're not accepting this. You know what I mean? Or And I know politics has a bad rap, specifically when you're dealing with Democrats. And no, I'm not a Republican. I'm independent, but I got to go ahead and go in on Democrats real quick because hey, I'm just keeping it a bad, man. Every 2 to 4 years, it's always a Democrat coming knocking at our door, talking about they going to do this and do that for the black community, and they ain't never delivering. I ain't got to talk about no Republican because ain't no Republican knocking at my door. Republicans are straight up and tell you we don't need your vote. You know what I'm saying?
I want to chime in on that, like the Democrat thing, but I want you to hold your point on that, what you were going at. But for me, like I know it was like a lesser of two evil. One was saying with Trump, but it was like for me, Joe Biden said the more racist shit for me. Like, man, you ain't black if you ain't vote for me. like that. Forget grab you by the pussy and all that. Like, man, I took that like that was like real disrespect from me.
I agree, and then we got to look at his past. See, that was another thing when he was running against Trump. I told a lot of black people because they're like, okay, we don't vote for Trump because Trump's racist. I'm like, okay, well he probably is. Okay, what about Joe Biden? Are you forgetting about him and Bill Clinton's '94 crime bill that got more blacks incarcerated than any president in the United States of America? This ushered in mass incarceration. We're not going to talk about that. What about him being a segregationist? Because that's a part of his track record too. What about him saying the N-word all on public record? We ain't gonna talk about that. What about him calling us super predators? He also made a statement saying that the voter registration thing, the ID voter thing is racist because blacks don't know how to use the internet. Blacks, he said Hispanics and blacks specifically don't know how to use the internet. Really? So you're saying we're that unintelligent to where we cannot figure out how to use the internet when we got Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok? Come on, stop playing with us, man. For real. Like they playing.
Yeah, we got somebody coming. Lou Rawls say to be a voice of the voiceless, my brother.
Oh, off top. Oh yeah, that brother was with us at the city council meeting too. He saw how reckless it was, man. They be out of pocket.
Yeah, we got somebody sending their heart, black and gold, man. It's all love, family.
Black and gold can't be bought nor be sold, brother. Period.
But yeah, you were saying like you were like going a little bit in on the Democrat. You were like, I just had to interject that point right there. But you were saying like with the Democrat, the whole thing before you got on by.
Oh, the Democrats. the ones that pretend to be our friends but low-key don't like us either. See, and we got to deal with these cats down here. Them people is not our friends. They will sit there and act like they're panderers. They hop on board when it comes to black issues, social all you gotta do is pay attention to them. When Black Lives Matter was doing their thing, they was all on the campaign trying to get the votes, talking about defund the police. But you see, when these people got their seats, they voted to say let's fund the police. Ain't that what Biden said? He said don't defund the police, fund the police, give them training. Every single time one of these fools kill a black person, all they got to turn around and do is say, we need to fund them to get them more training. If you have to train somebody to be a human being, to not put your knee on somebody's neck for 8 minutes, there's something wrong with you. That has nothing to do with training. In fact, I will arguably say they have training, white supremacist training. Let's not play like our police departments are infiltrated by KKK and white supremacist groups.
Yes, sir.
And Democrats too.
Yeah, I mean, like I know I ain't dealt with it neither like you know what I'm saying, my beloved brother, but I will did a little bit on the outskirts, like I kind of dabbled, not this shirt all the way in, but I had a little toe in it. But I was in my knowledge of my history that I came across, it was like once upon a time, a lot of the Democrats now, they were once Republicans, and a lot of the Republicans now were once Democrat.
Oh, you talking about the big switch?
Yeah, the big switch.
Yeah, they say that it wasn't like a physical switch. Some say that it was like an ideological type of switch, and that's another thing too. A lot of blacks they're not like familiar when it comes to the knowledge. When it comes to the Democrats, they the ones that started the KKK. They was the ones that was lynching people and creating policies to destroy us. They ain't talking about the Great New Society and how old boy came up with the policy with the welfare, but the man couldn't be within the home. So that was an act on war. That was a warfare to destroy the black home. Or the Negro Project, which was Margaret Sanger, trying to depopularize black people so we can be in a minority. In other words, known as Planned Parenthood. You know, these disgusting policies destroyed our community, as well as what do you call it, the women's suffrage movement. So I see a lot of black women talking about their feminists and all that. Those movements were very disrespectful towards black people. All people got to do is do the research on that. They disrespected our sisters like Fannie Lou Hamer, Sojourner Truth. They try to tell them that the white women will lead the charge, and they wanted the black women to be in the back. And they try to, you know, put black issues in it as well as women issues. And the white women told them, no, it's only about women's rights. But they're like, well, we're black and we're being not only disrespected because we're women, but because we're black women. You know what I mean? So they treated our sisters very disrespectfully. Not only that, but some of the leaders of those movements were very disrespectful too, saying they rather cut off their arm before they see a black man get it voted in on. And to me, that's hypocrisy, because we were not in control of making those laws. When the Constitution was first made, it was only to empower rich white men. It was not put in place to empower the poor or women in general. But we didn't make those laws. That's a bickering argument between white men and white women. That had nothing to do with us. Why all these people be talking about toxic patriarchy and all that other different stuff? That's their beef, not ours. The black man ain't do it.
Yeah, we got somebody say, Mighty, can you speak to the safety law coming to Chicago in 2023 if you think other states or the federal government will follow suit?
Yeah, you gonna have to. I was gonna say he gonna have to enlighten me on that. I ain't in tune.
I mean, I don't know if it's called a safety, but I had seen that float called my social media. But it's they doing like a little purge in Chicago, January 2023. Like kind of like a purge law where they kind of gonna be lenient on crime. Like they came out from a governor mayor. He was speaking on that. Yeah.
Okay, I did hear about that. Not under that terminology though. I would personally say it probably depends on the state, to be honest with you, bro, because liberal states are stupid. I'm sorry. Liberal states, they pass some bogus legislation and some bogus laws that really destroy our cities. I'm just keeping it a band. I happen to be in a Republican-led state.
For the people that don't know, when you say liberal, what's liberal and what's what liberal
okay.
would be?
Okay, so a liberal is part of the left. You know what I mean? You can be a Democrat and be a liberal, and supposedly you can be a liberal and be a Republican. Liberal is just an ideology. Liberal means to be accepting of different ideals. It's supposed to be like a form of, you know, progressive, you know, that type of stuff. It's really not. I think it's very toxic, but you know, liberal states tend to promote bogus policies, and you see it in the community. You see the trash all over the place. You see the houses all run down. You see there's more crime infested in the area. In Republican-led states, I sincerely doubt that they would. I sincerely doubt that they would let that happen, because if that reaches their community, they're going to have a problem with that. Okay. So I don't see that. So it depends on the state, brother. In my personal opinion.
Okay.
And if we are going to purge something, we need to purge our communities from these goddamn rapists, people who are selling hard drugs to our people, and people that are disrespecting our elders and kicking in doors and doing, you know, unruly type of stuff. Those type of people need to be purged. My personal opinion.
Yeah, Brett Market, he came in. He was like, they are doing away with the bail, though. Like as far as the law, like with the purge thing, like I think I seen that too. They were like, they ain't gonna be like, how to put it, it gonna be lenient with the bail. It's a no bail type of thing, something like that, where it basically like a get out of jail free card
for rapists and murderers. And when I say murder, I gotta clarify. Killing in self-defense is not murder, but I'm talking about like somebody.
Yeah, matter of fact, let me pull it up on my phone. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I seen the chart. You know what I'm saying? It was like with the crime. Let me see. Chicago purge.
That's crazy. Who sponsored this bill? Like really?
Now there was the governor. He just came out and he was just saying they passed it overnight. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. It was a situation where
So was this a bill, or is this something that they did executive order on? So so they're like the House and the Senate came together and said we're gonna do this, and he signed off, or they did an executive order?
No,
because that sounds crazy.
I'm looking at certain article, but some I guess they probably got a lot of flack off of it because some article saying that it's know that Anna cash bail is not a purge line. Here's what we know about the pre-trial fairness. I think that's what they call.
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable with that, brother. Not in my state, or I wouldn't be comfortable with that in general, bro. Depending on what it is. If somebody is a sex offender, you done raped a little kid or raped a woman in general, or you know what I mean, you broke in some old lady house and you murdered her or something like that. I can't subscribe to that. That's some crazy nut type stuff.
Let's see. Illinois mayor drops him on new state law. Eliminate cash bail. Hold on, I'm trying to. Okay, it is. It called the safety. I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out. It say the Safety Act abolishes cash bail for almost every offense. Individuals on electronic monitoring must be in violation for 48 hours before law enforcement can act. Prohibits officers from removing trespassers from your residence or business. And I'm trying to find that list that I seen without just having to play the video. Matter of fact, I think I shared that somewhere, but it kind of go into the crime that they say will be somewhat allowed type of thing.
Oh, so they're incentivizing people to do more crime. Wow.
Here go. It's the non-detainable offense. You know what I'm saying? So aggravated battery, aggravated DUI, aggravated fleeing and eluding, arson, burglary, drug-induced homicide, intimidation, kidnapping, armed robbery, second-degree murder, threatening public official. You know what I'm saying? That were the list of the different I guess non-detainable offenses that you won't be detained for, I guess, going into January 1st, 2023.
That don't sound good, brother. That sound like a recipe for a disaster, brother. I'm just being honest.
Oh, shit, man, it's already up in Chicago, man. Let me see what we got. We got a lot of comments. They are doing okay. We already seen that. Say second-degree murder, no bail. Oh, that's for example. Second-degree murder, kidnapping, and a couple of other charges will not be detainable charges. Pretty serious offenses are being let out of bag. Let's see.
I'm about to investigate and see who that governor is. He about got me ready to make some calls down there and write letters. He's tripping.
It's a Minneapolis doing something like this without talking about it already. Like, so
liberal city, but these are liberal states, brother. Like I keep saying, they always doing some stupid stuff. Like I get the no cash bail because I think cash bonds are stupid because you got to have the cash and stuff like that, and you can't do it like credit and stuff like that with the house or the car, whatever the case may be, or payments. But it depends on what it is. Like some crazy type of stuff. Nah, that's crazy. So I can go kidnap somebody and then I don't have to pay cash bond. I can be out and do it again and keep doing it.
Yes, sir.
Like wow.
Man, the time we live in, man, like at first it was moving, then a lot of people spoke. A lot of people really spoke this into existence, man. Like when you think about it from the moving, from the conversation, a lot of people just in the back of their mind, man, like just saying like with the machete just on their lap, ready, man, I see some motherfuckers on ready to purge right now. Like golly. But man, moving along further, man, like definitely like going back into the interview, because we ain't gonna be here with y'all all night, you know what I'm saying? But like I know our beloved brother, you know what I'm saying, on a tight schedule and got stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? What bro say right here? Let me see. Even in the story of Jesus, they chose to free the criminal Barabbas versus him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Like we living in them time. But yeah, like
man,
my brother, you know what I'm saying? So Man, what's going on now? Like I see the RJ for house. Like what are your plans or what it is that you see yourself doing or what's on the agenda? What like in the next 5 years? What you got going on, brother?
Man, I'm about to take one of these seats, man. That's what I'm trying to get going on, man. Because we need people that's actually going to be in office that represent us, and I'm representing the hood. People be talking about you need to be politically correct. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm for the people and I'm of the people, bro. They talk grassroots. I'm concrete roots. I come from the streets, so I identify with people who are in gangs. I identify with people who's been in prison. I identify with people who are struggling, trying to make ends meet and things like that. Single parents and people that are working 2 jobs just to pay, their rent. You know what I mean? I'm not from a privileged type of class. I don't represent that group of people. Whole different demographics, and those people are not being represented, bro. They're not given a voice. So I'm just trying to make sure that's reflected, bro. To be up there.
Like what? Like how do it work? You know what I'm saying? Like somebody want to help you. Like how do this system? Like I look like for the like a dumb person like myself, ignorant to it. Like so you just say wake up one day, man, I want to run for office. Like not to go all the way into the textbook. Like we can probably about the 5 step, like major step, like what it is, like that you had to go through to get to step 1. Like okay, I'm on the battle. Okay, I'm pushing with the outfit. Like what was the main stuff you had to? I know, like when you, like being on the front line with our people, man, the harder thing get organized because like you trying to get people to help themselves. So it's like it's like you. A lot of times people don't really want to help. So it's like a whole shit. But it's like damn, like pulling teeth with baby, man. Sometimes I do a lot of organizing myself, and I can just that shit's scary. Cause I mean. I'm gonna lead with this phrase, but I want you to like list out the steps. But it's like I seen it. The more I'm out here, I see that I don't like they were cold as hell when they came up with that phrase in Batman. It was like you can either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Like being on like that shit cold as hell. When like the more I started getting higher, it's like man, you either live long enough to be, well, it's like you either die early and be the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Cause like, I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro, sometimes on the front line, that shit make you hate your own people. But I like, what, like, they get like the steps and stuff, like how, like what it is that you gotta do and for ones that they can help, like what it, like in a nutshell type of thing. Excuse my French, no pun intended.
Okay, so like, first off, I would just like to say it wasn't my intentions to run for office. That was like, I rotated with politicians as far as lobbying, which would mean me talking to House representatives, senators, and things like that to get them to pass certain laws. What ended up making me decide to run for office is the people. The people were like, okay, I don't like the dude that's currently, the House representative. He's done exploited the community. He's done did this and did that. And the type of person I am, just from coming from the Lordism aspect, we're taught to protect our women and our children, our elderly. And as it says in certain sacred, literature, it talks about, fighting for all poor and oppressed people of color nationwide. So, I had to stand up for individuals who were being exploited and being disrespected. But as far as like the steps and stuff like that, it all depends on the person's state. If you have a background, in certain states, they might not let you run. In our state, we can. But if you don't, the steps are basically like this. Because every state is different. In our state, our time to get on the ballot is March. So I had to get up to 50 signatures. I ended up getting way more than 50 signatures. I probably got like maybe 200, 300 signatures. And I had to do all of that to get on the ballot. And the people's signatures have to be within your district. And then you go give them to the Secretary of State, and then they put you on the ballot. And then from there, you have to do a lot of work. You got to do a lot of campaigning. You have to door knock. You have to go to events. You have to talk to people. A host of other stuff. And as far as like what you said about organizing, yes, it is very difficult because a lot of individuals will be on Facebook. Yeah, bro, we support you. Can I get some of y'all to come volunteer to come knock on these doors with me? Can y'all come to some of these events with me? When it comes to stuff like that, it gets a little shaky unless like you're like paying somebody to do it, because when it comes to dealing with people aren't consistent. Like people say they want change and they want results, but they're not willing to put in that labor or that groundwork to get that. You know, and I think that's the major concern that I have within the Black community specifically. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to talk, but talk does not produce rice. You know, if you want something, you have to put in work, period. There's no way around it. If you want changes in your community, you have to fight for that. And first and foremost, if you want changes in your community, you have to get your house together first. You know what I mean? Because I'm an adamant person to believe that, you know, the household is a reflection of the community. A lot of these dysfunctional houses, you know what I mean? That's a reflection of what's going on within our community. You know, I remember back in the day, we used to know who our neighbors was, bro. A neighbor could come to you and ask you for some sugar, or ask you to borrow your lawnmower and things like that. Nowadays, people don't even know who the hell their neighbors are. They don't know anybody in the community. You know, it's been a big disconnect, you know, which we have to bridge. And education. Education is key too. Like, you know, dealing with politics, for example. A lot of people don't understand the basic 3 branches of government. I don't know if they're not teaching it no more in civics and stuff like that, but I'll just run it down just because I'm on here. I'll just say we got the executive, so that's the mayor, you know, the governor, the president, things like that. The executive's job is to enforce the law. The legislative branch job is to create the law. Then you have the judicial. The judicial job is to interpret the law. You know what I mean? So people got to be clear on, you know, the 3 branches of government, what they can do, what they can't do. Technically, the president's not supposed to send us to war without going through Congress. But you have seen with the last presidents, they kind of did whatever they wanted. But technically, they're not supposed to. But they do. There's no accountability.
A lot of renegades everywhere on the highest level, as above, so below.
Oh, and I got to say this too, because I know we got a lot of President Obama supporters and things like that. We got our first Black president, did nothing for Black people whatsoever. I know a lot of people try to be like, oh, well, we voted for him just because he's Black. That's a horrible thing to do. Never vote for a person just because they're Black or just because they're a Democrat. That's the most unintelligent thing to do. If the person is not representing the cause appropriately with policy that's going to uplift you and your family, your community, do not vote for that person, or don't vote for that person. Use your power. Malcolm X talked about this. He talked about it. Even if you have to hold your vote, make them pay for it. You know, these people don't even have to work for your vote anymore. And if you do elect one of these people, put the fire to their goddamn feet and make them do their goddamn job. You know, we need to be organized and put our own people in office to represent our own interests.
I want to play devil advocate too, though. So I ain't gonna say I'm all the way on the Obama way. I love the fact that we did have a Black president, like the symbol of where we can take it further. But for me, you got to look at the business. Like, you got to look at the dollar. Like, since probably in the beginning, like we dealt with, probably had a more honorable system, but everything kind of dealing with payola and their money. So we got to look at, like, sometimes people, when they get into the position of power, you got to, like, we always see the front man, but a lot of times you might have different people that put money in the back. Like, they put money in the know what I'm saying, pot. They make things happen. Like, cause even to run for president, man, I ain't gonna say I'm pretty sure, but I'm ignorant to the actual dollar amount, but I know, like, from my research, they call like probably a couple of 100,000, you know what I'm saying, to even run a little
million.
Yeah,
try millions.
Yeah, see, it's like millions just to run a presidential campaign. So we got to look at it from a business standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can take it back to the street. Like, if the plug, you know what I'm saying, put some work in your hand, man, eventually the plug want that money. You know what I'm saying? He wants a few pennies on their dollar.
Yeah, like, he gonna come collect.
He gonna come collect. I don't know no person in business that, you know what I'm saying, get shit for free. Like, it really ain't, you know what I'm saying, I learned this in economics. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
That's
facts. Yeah, you got to be conscious. A lot of time people might say free, but it's sometimes a strange attack. So, you know what I'm saying, playing devil's advocate with Obama's situation, and then you got to deal with the whole, you know what I'm saying, standstill. A lot of people in power didn't like the fact that he was a Black man. So it was like he had to play ball with the people that put the money in the battery in the bag, and then he had to play ball, you know what I'm saying, to kind of get the little shit that he got paid.
Yeah, well, me not liking him is more on the lines of a couple things he's did. Like, as far as like Assata Shakur, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with her. One of the Panther 21s. You know, she got convicted of allegedly killing a cop, even though she got shot in her armpits, which signifies she had her hands in the air. When she got broken out of prison and went to Cuba and stuff like that, President Obama was one of the presidents to say he wanted her to come back to, face her charges, even though he's supposed to be from Chicago or live in Chicago, whatever the case is. He should understand like what the FBI COINTELPRO were doing to the Panthers with Fred Hampton, the Panther 21, and the stuff they did. They did horrible stuff. They bombed the buildings. They killed our people. He should have that understanding. So for you to try to get this elderly woman to come back to face some justice when those police officers, domestic terrorists, were gunning for her and her comrades, I feel like that was wrong, as well as the little role he played with Muammar Gaddafi and things of that nature. They were trying to unify Africa.
Yeah, that was wrong right there, though. But we got to realize, though, he wasn't the face of Black America. He was the face of this American corporation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so we got to, I mean, that's in a position where they be the Senate, you know what I'm saying? You just represent, like, I ain't going to say, I hate to say it, but it is what it is. We got to call a spade. Like,
yeah.
They know what I'm saying? This system went really never built for us. So it's like anybody that go higher in that. I mean, I'm just on the outside looking in. They got to play ball. Like even I be looking at some video like right now, like even people going into the Senate seat, they gotta sign some type of paper where they pledging their loyalty somewhere to Israel. I seen, and I ain't know what I'm saying. I seen some type of people, you know what I'm saying, it's like two different documents.
Now, I'm not privy to that because I'm not actually on the inside, but I will say I agree as far as, yes, the system is not built for us. A lot of people say the system's broken. No, it is not broken. It is running exactly how it was designed to run, and it's never been designed to run in our favor. Do I think we can change the system? Absolutely not. I am one who comes from the cloth of Harriet Tubman. I am an abolitionist, so I do believe that we need to dismantle current systems that are not working, and we need to replace them with things that work for everybody. As far as people playing ball, yes, they play ball. The most radical individuals who come in very radical seem to move more towards being moderate. Like if we even study AOC came in radical, protested in Nancy Pelosi's office, but now you see her moving more. She's getting forced to move by her party to take certain stances she doesn't agree with, and that's another thing about Democrats. A lot of individuals, they say the Democrats are the left. The Democrats are not the left. Anybody who supports capitalism or imperialism is not the left. The left does not support that. And when I say capitalism, because I know a lot of people will get it twisted and be like, oh, okay, I got a business and things like that. No, we're talking about the original mechanisms of capitalism. Capitalism was created through slavery. You know what I mean? It was created through slavery, through the racial social construct to exploit black slaves to get free labor and to make money. That's where all of that stuff came from. So all the rich people that are benefiting off capitalism, they're benefiting off the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. So no, this isn't a disrespect to anybody that's in business, because I know in college they teach you capitalism is just, business aspect, means and production and things like that. But the problem with that is a lot of Black people, we don't control the means or the production. We don't make the shirts. We don't make certain stuff. We're not in control. You know what I mean? We're not in control of that. Like this isn't a pun on small businesses or anything like that. I'm talking about the people that are actually doing bogus stuff. The people that got those people in those sweatshops making 25 cents a day. That's capitalism.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Definitely appreciate that insight. I know, I mean, man, I studied a lot of this stuff in school, but it's like one of those things when you don't use it, you kind of lose it.
Facts.
I'm definitely soaking up the knowledge, man. But I ain't gonna say we coming up on that hour, but you know what I'm saying, we all like in, not necessarily in closing, but we got like one more question before we get to the closing. But if it's like 2 to 3 things, my brother, well, like for our people, because a lot of in the day and time, a lot of people say our vote don't count. Like this shit, they're just a waste of time, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? But we know and understand our ancestors died for the right to vote. But what would be 3 things, 2 to 3 things that you would kind of still like with the people? You know what I'm saying? Our youth, like when it comes to the politics, because like you said, it ain't that many of us in it, and I know, bro, on the outside looking in, I do community events like on the regular side of things, not just all the way politics. And our people ain't really with that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, unless it's something like a big artist or somebody endorse it, then you'll get a crowd, but you'll get a crowd of people that ain't really trying to do the work. So it's like, man, what would be your thing, like, to tell you that somebody interested in getting into politics, or even if you want to pull somebody aside? I know you said you just that shit just happened by happenstance that you got into that.
Okay, so coming into politics, you know, I'm an activist. So like you say, you do community work and organizing and things like that. I do too. So, you know, I'm an advocate for political education. You done drew with Chairman Fred Jr. So you're familiar with, you know, studying the dynamics of the system, how to break it down, etc. So I personally feel like if a person is going to pursue that, they should be politically educated. They shouldn't go naive saying, okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to change this. They should already have a crystal clear understanding of what they're getting into, and they should have a specific agenda on what they're trying to do. Like, for example, if I was to get elected, I'm okay. Prior to me getting elected, I'm not knocking on somebody's door saying I'm going to get this passed for you, I'm going to do this and do that, because that's not realistic. Because when you're dealing with the House and the Senate, like down here, we have at least probably like 100 and something people on the House. We have 200 and some people in the Senate. To sit there and say I specifically can come and get all this stuff passed without going through my peers is unrealistic. So I can advocate for this and that and the third. And when I get elected, then I can come back and I can tell my people, this is what we can realistically get, and this is what we can't get. And then we go from there. But as far as like lying to a person, no, I don't agree with that. I personally also feel like, yeah, we need people in these systems, just like they infiltrate our organizations. We need to be infiltrating theirs, but we need to be politically educated, and we need to be organized and understand what we're doing and be able to use all the tools of our enemies to our disposal. You know, same thing with the educational system. We understand that when we're sending our kids to public schools, that our black and brown children are being miseducated when it comes to the history and various different things. We should be teaching our children on our own. We should be creating our own programs and stuff like the after school programs, teaching them what it is to understand, you know, the life through an African centered way of thinking and things like that, bro. As well as creating our own liberation schools. They got one in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? It's a nice little freedom school where they teach you from an African centered perspective. It's accredited and all those different things. We need to be building our own institutions, not just depending on the government to do everything for us. We need to build our own. You know, the Panthers showed us that it could be done by creating their free breakfast for kids program. You see, the government is now using it. But that is proof that it can be done. They also went door to door and they had, you know, free healthcare. You know, they tested for sickle cell anemia and all these other different things. They had nurses, they had doctors volunteering their own spare time to help the people. So it can be done.
Indeed. So bro, we appreciate your mind, bro. We definitely want to encourage and lift our brother what he doing. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, like, any closing remarks or anything that you want to leave on the minds of the one that are listening to the sound of your voice, my brother.
Organize. I don't care what it is. As long as it's productive, you need to be organizing. Point blank, period. Whether it be business, y'all need to be organizing and starting businesses within your community, empowering your community, whether you want to be a teacher, whether you want to be this, whether you want to be whatever. Organize. That's where your power lies. You know, the reason why we're in the position that we're in now is because of our disunity and because we're not educated. So I would definitely say educate yourself, get organized, and get mobilized, and get out here and do something for yourself, for your family, and for your community.
Indeed. And we're gonna go to the audience, like, keep that going, bro. To take the message to the folk on the peace and blessing. Peace and blessing Tabara Watson. You know what I'm saying? It's all love.
Peace and blessings, brother.
Anybody know what I'm saying that listening if y'all want to chime in or y'all want to have any questions, you know what I'm saying? This the time to ask any questions right now. But know what I'm saying? How you feeling, bro? I know you like everything good in life, man. I know that road led travel can be, I ain't gonna say brutal, but that shit it's scream, you know what I'm saying? You know, we grow in pain. It's brutal.
Oh, it's most definitely brutal. I'd be lying to a person if I said that it ain't brutal, because basically and this is what I be telling people too. A lot of these individuals be running around talking about they want to be a leader, they want to be this and they want to be that. Do you really? Like, we see the perfect examples of what a leader is when it comes to Christ. Christ is taking them whips for you. He's bleeding for you. So a real leader is the one absorbing everything. Like when these dudes be running around talking about I'm the leader and I got these people up underneath me, I don't think they understand what that means. When you have somebody underneath you, you become that hedge for those people that are underneath you. So that means any harm, any assaults or anything, be it physically, mentally, economically, all that is impacting you. You are absorbing that as the leader. So people who are saying, "Oh, I'm this and I'm that," are you really? Because a leader is one who serves. Their life is an act of service for their brother and sister. A leader is a problem solver. So yes, you definitely are taking multiple blows for the people when you're out here organizing, when you're out here fighting for families, when you're fighting for the youth so they can graduate, so they can succeed, so they don't go to the penitentiary, so they don't lose their life. So yeah, it's definitely hard. It's definitely a struggle. But hey, that's why they call it struggle. Only thing I'm gonna tell a brother is fight back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lou Raw chimed in again, say peace and love, my brothers. We got to start applying that person fits where it has been destroyed.
Ain't no question.
Yes, sir. Ain't no doubt. But man, we is up on that hour, family, man. It's been beautiful, my beloved brother, Mr. RJ. I wanted to say RJ. In my mind, though, I ain't gonna even hold you, know what I'm saying? You know, you probably already know the movement. Coming to the stage, Randy Watson. Oh no, I just slipped off in my mind. I was just about to call RJ Watson, but anyway, man. But like I do with every guest, man. Before we close out, I always ask my guest, man, leave us with a prayer, my brother. Close us out.
Most definitely. Right before I close out, can I just say one thing to the body? A couple things to the body.
Yeah, say a couple things. Know what I'm saying? Let your tongue run off as much as you need to.
All right, so palms up, brothers. I just want to leave y'all with that. Like when it comes to our symbols, we always talk about signs and symbols, and for the conscious mind, I want brothers to actually take those signs and symbols and actually use them in life. Because everything that we have within our structure, it is to benefit you so you can be successful. You cannot lose. We have a perfect system in place to work. So when individuals are talking about palms up and the glove and purity, not bringing our brothers and sisters no harm, don't just apply that obviously to the brothers and sisters that are within your nation, but also apply keeping your hands pure from any actions or any deeds that are going to cause, harm to your own people as well. That needs to be understood. Just like we talk about the cane being a staff of support, for those brothers and sisters that are down, if you see a brother down, you lift them your hand and you bring them up. We can't talk about, the top hat representing the cleansing of the mind and sheltering your head. And we're putting foul things into our mind. Put things of knowledge into your mind, things that are going to cause you to think on a higher, different level. Think outside the box. So a man thinketh, so is he. The thought was the cause of it all. So I just wanted to, say that to the body, taking our signs and symbols. We stars for a reason, brother. We stars for a reason. So by us being stars, we ain't got no choice but to do what we're designed to do, and that's shine. So shine to all those lost brothers and sisters that's in the darkness. Bring them to that light.
This little light of mine.
Ain't no question.
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Hey, no question. That's one of the activists. That's one of our sisters.
No question, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Our hearts and minds are settled. Food, we full right now. Go ahead and close us out with that prayer, my brother.
Yes, sir. Is this one of our divine prayers or just a random prayer?
No, it can be a universal, but not it ain't got
okay, I got you.
Nothing to do with the body, but you know what I'm saying? We
okay. Well, I call on the divine creator. I pray that you bless all our brothers and sisters that are in the struggle. I ask that you guide them down the golden path. I ask that you bless their health. I ask that you bless their finances. I ask that you bless their mental. I ask that you give them strength to overcome their obstacles. I ask that you open up their doors for success, for positivity, for spiritual cultivation and spiritual evolution. I ask that you close their doors for any acts that are going to cause their misfortune, for negative people, negative things, or negative entities that are going to cause their destruction. May you collectively bring us together so we can uplift ourselves and our families and our communities. Amen.
Amen, man. That was beautiful, man. I brought a tilt to my big eye, man. I love you, bro, man. You be safe.
I love you as well. But hey, keep doing what you're doing too, man. Hey, you doing positive stuff like that, man. I support everything you're doing. Visionary leaders, brother. Keep doing what you're doing.
Man, I got to, man. I like what y'all doing. Visionary leaders of Iowa, man. That touched my heart right there.
Hey,
I like that, man. That's beautiful, man.
Appreciate you giving us the concept, brother.
No problem, man. No problem, man. I'm here, man. You just broke down. Leader is one who serve.
Period.
I know how to serve a lot of people, but they
Yes,
love.
sir.
Man. They love.
As they should.
Yes, sir. So chill, right? I'm sitting out here talking to self while hollering at God. And God will let self know, like, yeah, it is a crazy coincidence. Like, everybody come to God with their problems, for help, or blessings, or what have you. But who God go to when God need the vent? When God need to let some off his shoulders or get some off his chest. The Lord's consiglia.